The country where modernity meets harmony. Living in a world filled with crimes and problems is scary, from pollution that can negatively impact your health to endless traffic and exhausting public transportations that are deemed unsafe. All these can probably leave you questioning, when will this country ever find solutions to these types of problems? Finding a country with strong social support, excellent healthcare system, and an exceptional balance between modernity and nature may seem like something that exists only in your dreams. In that case, perhaps Singapore just turned those dreams into reality. You heard that right! Singapore is known as the haven for opportunities where diversity and progress foster. If you want to know more about this city-state where dreams flourish, then make sure to stay until the end of this video. Quality of life? Opportunities? We've got it all covered for you. Welcome to HTL World, where knowledge is served about the lifestyle you deserve. With continuously low crime rates, an open judicial system, and a dependable police force supported by vigilant residents, Singapore is recognized as one of the world's safest nations. Who wouldn't want to live in a country where your safety is assured, right? Traveling along the places of a country may seem both exciting and worrisome, especially when transportation is causing inconvenience, and your security is at risk. However, for Singapore, strolling around even at night is not a problem. Singaporeans also laud the security of the buses and light rail, saying that they feel at ease commuting alone at night. Particularly, violent crime is much less prevalent than in many other developed nations or major cities. The incredible strict and severe rules that prevent people from committing even lesser offenses like spitting or theft are a big part of the reason Singapore is so safe. Due to extensive surveillance, it is also very simple to be caught. Plus, overhead bridges and underpasses make it simple to pass even the busiest of roads. The country has reliable and broad public transportation. Multiple lines make up the mass rapid transit, which is constantly growing. Trains typically run from about 5:30 a.m. to midnight and are air-conditioned. Most bus stops are named after the structure or notable location they are nearest to, and they show route transformation. Taxis are convenient and pleasant. Most taxis feature a light on their roof that flashes red while they're in use and green when they're free. The government has implemented an electronic road pricing or ERP system to reduce traffic congestion. This means that when you use specific crowded routes and expressways, you must pay a minimum cost. Additionally, the number of cars is restricted to reduce traffic. Smoking is prohibited in public areas in Singapore as well. To address the pollution, scarcity of water, and traffic, Singapore has unique ways to solve these problems that no country seems to have thought of. By devising a plan that included building water plants, reservoirs, importing water, and desalinating water, Singapore took on the task of meeting its 430 million gallons per day extreme water needs. Enormous pumps buzz deep underground at a facility in Singapore that helps clean up the ocean by turning sewage into drinkable water. Although extremely clean, the streets don't feel sterile. The streets and highways are shaded by dense tembusu trees, vibrant bougainvillea, and umbrella-like rain trees which cover many of the buildings. Now that's definitely sustainable, isn't it? Today's city is tidy, green, and comparatively free of traffic jams. Parks and nature reserves are accessible to locals. The country's clean water bodies offer a consistent water supply, as well as opportunities for pleasure and sports. In Singapore's 57th year of independence, the fact that they're doing better than most countries has become a reminder that the country is a symbol of hope, progress, and diversity. This country has become home to a lot of races, primarily because aside from receiving a lot of offers, diversity is very much welcomed. Being a multi-race and multi-ethnic country may not be easy, considering the differences in values and beliefs. But in order to maintain Singapore as a lively and harmonious society, the Singaporean government has managed Singapore's multicultural landscape by enacting a number of policies, including legislation and education. Multiculturalism recognizes, embraces, and even emphasizes the value of the diversity of ethnic cultural history and practices of many groups to create a cohesive society, as opposed to the dominance of a single national culture. The goal is to promote greater awareness of differences by encouraging cultural exposure and cross-cultural engagement, so that people of society are better prepared to negotiate cultural variety. Many foreigners claim that despite the generally high cost of living, they have more disposable income than they had at home. Foreigners who didn't speak any Asian languages will have no trouble adjusting to life in Singapore. Malay is the national tongue of the country, but English is the official language. All official documents and educational materials are written in English. Singapore placed second in the local language category mostly because those who can speak Asian language can get by just fine. On top of that, the citizens' health is one of the indications of a successful country, and Singapore has been proved to be one of them. The health and nutrition of Singaporeans are among the best in all of Asia. The nation is also famous for its top-notch healthcare infrastructure, technical developments in the medical field, and knowledgeable physicians and specialists. The country has chosen to finance healthcare through a public-private partnership. The MediSave, which requires each working resident to pay a required monthly contribution to the MediSave component of his Central Provident Fund account, is the centerpiece of this system. This can be applied to the cost of medical health. The government, on the other hand, offers the needy free or heavily discounted medical treatments at public hospitals and clinics. Private healthcare institutions do not require medical insurance, and overall healthcare prices are surprisingly reasonable. Given that, you might choose to purchase insurance in the event of a serious illness or an emergency. Dehydration and sunburn are Singapore's two main health issues. It is difficult to prepare for the wall of heat and humidity that confronts visitors. Use sunscreen and keep hydrated. Another thing is, Singapore is a productive country. They offer lucrative and competitive salary offerings. There may be prospects for you in Singapore if you have a high level of education and professional experience. The banking and finance sectors account for a sizable share of the employment opportunities for foreigners in Singapore. Additionally, there are certain job prospects in the electronics, computer, technology, and shipping sectors. Although, contrary to other countries, Singapore is very strict with skills qualifications more than educational attainment. Given Singapore's small population and the high demand for the competent foreign labor, obtaining a work permit there is comparatively simple. Prior to the beginning of the application process for permanent residency, you simply need to have lived and worked in the country for 1 year after receiving your worker's visa. Singapore has an extremely high level of living, yet this can be expensive. Alcohol is taxed heavily because they advocate for a healthy lifestyle and environment. As was already said, there are only a limited number of vehicles available because it is exceedingly expensive to possess a car due to the high taxes that are charged on vehicles. Overall, food and consumables are relatively affordable, and foreigners who are willing to eat in the local street stores and shopping mall food courts will discover that they may dine out for a very inexpensive price. Although Singapore has been praised for its amazing economy, there are still downsides that the country continues to address until today. All of these innovations and developments were started ever since they became independent 57 years ago. Now, it's time for other countries to realize that the existing problems of today can be eradicated and solved through the collaboration between the citizens and the leaders. Now that you have been given a glimpse of life in Singapore, what do you think is the first thing that you will do when you get the chance to travel to this wonderful place? Do you think Singapore just passed your expectation as one of the best countries in the world? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Find this video entertaining? Smash that like button and subscribe to get more interesting videos from us. This has been HTL World. See you in our next video.